All right, y'all. Professor X here. It seems the racism in wrestling is a growing epidemic. Because on the eve of Impact Wrestling's Hard to Kill, Tessa Blanchard versus Sami Callihan for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship, Tessa Blanchard sent out a tweet, which is supposed to be, a positive for all women in wrestling. Hashtag give women wrestlers a chance. Also, sisterhood, etc., etc. Hey, women, try supporting one another. Cool things happen. Well, here's something that's not cool. About 8 to 9 female wrestlers, came out and revealed a dark secret that apparently no one knew about. And like Havoc and like Hulk Hogan, Tessa Blanchard is apparently a racist, has attitude issues backstage, and has been a bully. So, and here are basically some of the tweets, and I quote. First one from Allison K. Sienna. Remember when you spat in a black woman's face and called her the N-word in Japan? Was that you supporting women? The audacity of this tweet. Alice K also says, the reason I've never said anything until now is because it wasn't my story to tell. I made it clear to La Rosa that I had her back, and today was the day she gave me permission. You can't force someone to come forward, but you can be there for them. That is supporting women. Of course, it didn't stop there. WWE NXT star Chelsea Green told her own story about her dealings with Blanchard. She tweeted, "You've consistently put down, bullied, and belittled countless female coworkers, including me. Is that support?" Of course, Tessa Blanchard responded by saying, "I've never been anything but kind to you. I've dealt with mean girls since I started. Not saying I'm a saint. Hell, I've had my ups and downs, and I've made silly decisions, such as life. You have zero merit in your comments. Instead, putting me down here for a little clout, you've got my number." And of course, Tessa's first response before this one was, "Not true. That's my statement, and the most attention I'll give it because of how actually ridiculous it is." And after that, she no longer responded to the media. And of course, of all people, Moose, a black man, stepped in and defended her, saying, "It's real funny the timing of these tweets from the both of you. It shows a lot about your character. Hey, Moose, remember, you're a black man. You're not one of them. And you need to be wary of all the white friends that you make in this industry. And you also need to understand this industry is driven and run by a racist corporate mentality. So, just ask ACH Jordan Miles. Remember him? And I haven't forgotten that." Now, moving on, we go to Casey Michael. Sure, hun, she bullied Renee Michelle at an indie show, and they had a tussle of some sort. I figured people involved in it would know more details. And also, there's one female wrestler who was a friend to the black and Puerto Rican wrestler La Rosa, who was the one who was called the N-word and spat on. It says right here, "So since we telling stories, Big Swole's turn. I won't speak on all the other stories, but the one about La Rosa, I know personally. This past year at WrestleCade, I spoke to her about this and about hashing it out with Tessa. I've spoken to Tessa as well after talking with, La Rosa and I decided it needed to be dealt with. A conversation needed to happen because this was getting intense over the years. As a black woman, this sickened me that this happened to a friend of mine. We have been dealing with this since it happened. It's just now finding its way into social media." So right there, at the end of the day, racism is racism. One can deny it, but of course, if you have eyewitnesses who saw it, but of course, it happened back in 2017. And of course, even Black La Rosa said she didn't want to say anything because, she didn't want her career ruined. So technically, she kind of sold out for her career, rather than have her self-respect. Because when something like that happens, you need to speak up right then and there. Yeah, I understand Tessa Blanchard has clout being Tully Blanchard's daughter, much like Charlotte Flair is Ric Flair's daughter. These women, I don't think, would be anywhere or any more famous than the next female wrestler unless they didn't have a father who was famous first. And remember, Flair and Tully Blanchard, both original Four Horsemen. And from what I understand, Tully Blanchard is a known racist, as is Ole Anderson. So it's in her blood and it's up here. So with that being said, racism is racism at the end of the day. But now when you look at this, Tessa Blanchard is now trending number 4 on Twitter. She's probably trending number 1 by now. And all of this has been brought to light on the eve of the pay-per-view. So let's look at the the real bigger picture behind this. Could this be another historical trend in wrestling? Wrestling using racism to boost pay-per-view buy rates and to boost her character, because Eric Bischoff, as he's always said with that book he wrote years ago, controversy creates cash. And since Tessa Blanchard no longer responded to any more of these allegations in the media, she's probably somewhere laughing and smiling all the way to the bank, because all this did was make her more popular and make people want to watch and buy the pay-per-view tomorrow. So what did this really accomplish? Like I said, racism is racism, and she's a fucking cunt. If since we know this is true, I'm disappointed as well. Like the next a black man, because we watch these people, we look up to them, we praise them, and we respect them for what they do in the ring, but we fail to realize we don't know a goddamn thing about them. Who they are, where they come from, what kind of upbringing they had. So with that being said, we need to learn to look past these fake masks they put on every time they go in front of the camera. As we all saw, Hulk Hogan had a fake mask. Jessica Havoc also a fake mask. And the funny thing about Jessica Havoc is, I went on her Twitter again years ago after those racist tweets came to light, and she had the audacity to take a picture with Biz Markie. I guess she was trying to save face because she caught him coming off a plane. And Biz Markie wasn't even smiling in the picture. His face was like, who the fuck is this bitch? But hey, it is what it is. So all this did in the long run was, I guess, make Tessa Blanchard put her over controversially. If she wins the belt tomorrow night, there'll be backlash on the company from fans. Of course, the fans might be cheered. The fans might cheer even more. Or if Impact Wrestling has any morals, she'll lose and they might punish her. But that's up to Impact management. We'll just have to wait and see. So let me know your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.